think I've run out of black ink, and it was in black. Here he is. Here he is. Hold on. Next up, we have the small matter of an international rock star. He's the drummer for one of the UK's biggest bands, selling over 9 million records across the globe. The man's trophy cabinet contains Brit Awards, Q Awards, Enemy Awards, but still finds the time to bang the drum on the stands of his beloved Plymouth Argyle. Ladies and gentlemen, Woody from Bastille.
How you doing? Well, I'll say boys, ladies, good evening.
If you had to pick one, Woody, who are you going for?
I mean, Brownie's looking lovely tonight, I must say.
Anybody? We're glad you got the memo on the wig anyway. Top man.
Oh, yeah. You know me, right? Professional. How you boys doing?
Good. Yeah, we're all right, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just about staying sane. We got 4-year-old and 2-year-old boys, so every day is just abuse at the minute. But yeah. It's all good.
Homeschooling?
Surviving.
Home surviving.
Yeah, home surviving. That's about it, mate.
You live down in Plymouth way then?
Nah, I live in Brighton now. I've been down here about 4 years. So yeah, I missed the seaside, but Devon was quite a hard sell for the missus. She's from London, so yeah, it's kind of a good compliment.
Meet in the middle.
Exactly that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the first big hitter, Woody, to actually notice the podcast. I think you commented on one of our episodes, and I thought, that's Woody from Bastille. What was the first episode you listened to?
I'm trying to think that it was probably the first series, but like the one that I always kind of share around. So there's like lads on our crew now, and like other bands. Like I always say, go for the Crossley episode first with Shithouse and all that sort of stuff. I was like on the train up from Brighton to London for like, I don't know what it was, like a rehearsal or something, but just like on the train, just like crying tears of laughter. And everyone's looking at me like, who is this weirdo? Chuckling to himself. But yeah, I mean, I've been kind of just trawling through like sports podcasts for ages, but it just kind of happened across this one. I can't remember who even passed it on to me, but yeah, I enjoy it. So thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
There's 3 ex-Plymouth managers that feature probably at least once an episode.
Holloway,
Hewless.
Yeah,
they always get a mention.
They always do, yeah. Well, yeah, Holloway's a funny one, man, because like he was like, we've played probably apart from now on the Ryan Lowe, we played the best football we ever did under him, and had some of the best players as well. We had like David Norris, who you've had on, the world's most handsome man.
Oh,
exactly. Yes, he's backing me up. Beautiful. He's beautiful. He is beautiful. Mate, I saw him in Tesco because we lived close by. I hid. I started blushing. I hid.
You got nervous. Yeah. You got too nervous. Yeah, we had like it's a player who he played for Hull, Peter Halmosey. He's the best player to ever wear a green shirt, man. He can literally bend space and time. He's just so quick and so fast.
I remember him.
Like absolute magic. But yeah. Yeah, Holloway was great, but then obviously, was it one day he's like, nah, cut me, I'll bleed green and white. 2 days later, Leicester City announced Ian Holloway, his new manager. And like, yeah.
Hey, they all change, mate. Once the big butts start coming rolling in, they all change.
They do.
Talking about the band, mate, obviously, unbelievable success over the last few years. Do you ever fancy doing the old Dave Grohl, Phil Collins, you know?
The only time you're ever going to hear me singing out front is a karaoke when I'm murdering Thin Lizzy. That's about it.
Is that your go-to?
Yeah, as a very good reason that I don't sing out front. I think I'll just stick to hitting tubs for now, I reckon.
What you know, like obviously as footballers, it's tough. It's tough at times if we're away for a couple of days, for 4 or 5 days. How long can you be away at a time? You know, on tours, are you sort of months? What it must be tough being away.
It's not easy, obviously, but I'm lucky that like I'm one of 4 bosses, so like we get to say, well, we dictate roughly kind of how long we're gone for. So we're never gone for like more than say 2 or 3 weeks at a time.
Right, so you can get back and
and then once we're back, then it's kind of like at least a week at home. So yeah, I'm married, 2 kids. Other guys engaged and like got long-term girlfriends, so it's like we all want to come back to having like intact home lives ideally, and then well, apart from the US tour last year, we were there for like 7 or 8 weeks. But then I was lucky enough I could bring the family out halfway through for like 10 days, so they enjoyed that as well. But I mean, that's literally the only downside of the job, really. I mean, we're so lucky to kind of literally. I travel around the world with my mates playing songs we made. It's a pretty good gig. Whereas like you get lads getting sent to Afghan, getting shot at for a year without getting to come home. So I'm not
unfortunately, some lads have got to sign for Plymouth, haven't they? You know what I mean? There's pros and cons to everything, isn't there?
Give them a lovely part of the world. Like, people are always slagging it. Also, was it Glenn Little on the other week said about losing at home to Plymouth 2-1? Absolute disaster. I was there. Me and Dad were sat in the car park afterwards, absolutely cackling. Hell of a result.
Who's the best player? Who's the best player in the band?
It's me. The rest are hopeless. Absolutely. Like, I'm not great. So I played in game for Grenfell like a couple of years ago, and after half an hour I was just blowing out my ass, like just tracking up and down. I've got Clint Hill next to me screaming, "Get up, get back, get up, get back."
Oh mate, it's a fucking illy. It don't matter, even if it's a charity match, mate. Illy, it'd be fucking bang at it with Vaseline on his eyebrows and all sorts, rolling his sleeves up, fucking tackle him.
I mean, I think he only like just retired, but like he looks fit as hell still. Like he can still play, I reckon.
Yeah, he's a great lad. Illy. I mean, you know, like now, so obviously, if you go to Tesco's now in Brighton and you're queuing up, are folk coming up to you all the time or?
Nah, like I think. Unless you're like a Bastille mega fan, you don't really know who I am, which is kind of great. It's like best of both worlds. Yeah.
It was unbelievable on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. We kept the amount of fans accounts, Bastille fans Mexico, Bastille fans Singapore, retweeting these thingies, and it was just I don't think. Well, they definitely don't follow us.
So many questions like, what is a shithouse? I don't understand.
How long were you and the lads grinding away before you felt you made it?
So basically everyone thinks that we just kind of wrote Pompeii one day, stuck it out, and then off we went. But I mean, I was playing with Dan, who like our singer and songwriter, for like nearly 2 years before the band even formed, and then we formed in 2010, and then we're doing like the proper like just empty pubs, borrowed our friend's mum's car to get around to gigs. Slept on friends of friends' floors, playing to like 9 people. I was like, what are we doing? But it just kind of gradually sort of progressed. But I'd say like when it first felt like something was really happening was like we did Reading Festival 2012, and we played this ballad called Overjoyed, and like the tent was rammed. Dan played the first few chords, and the crowd just screamed the words back at us. I was like, all right, something's happening now.
Was that the moment you thought, here we go, something's happening?
I thought this has definitely got some legs now.
Yeah.
Have you been signed at this point then?
Yeah, so we've been signed for about a year or so. No, less than a year, sorry. But yeah, that was when it was like, okay, this might actually last a while.
That's the something's happening moment. What was the it's fucking happened moment?
Probably Brit Awards 2014. We won like Best Newcomer, and in fact, no, that's a lie. Sorry, no. 2013 debut album went to #1 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But what was also as nice was, so that happened on the Saturday, and we were playing in Leeds, and then we flew to South by Southwest in Texas like the next day, and landed, and like no one knew who we were, so it kind of went from like top of the world to like back down with a bump. Guys.
Would you? I'll throw a question out there for you. Would you rather be in the world's most successful band, however you'd sort of gauge that, or would you rather be in a player in Barcelona's most successful team?
No, I'll play for Plymouth in the Premier League.
I was going to say, yeah, can I have like middling band and I'll be like a journeyman left back for Argyle, just for like best of both worlds. It's the music still for me. Like you've got to be a bit mad, I think, to kind of, as I say, travel around the country playing to no one, driving hundreds of miles. You do it for the love, like not the glamour by any stretch.
Yeah.
Then it end up with the glamour at the end.
This is
What have you got coming up, mate?
So you know what? This is just complete dumb luck. We've actually got this year off, like not because of COVID, but just actually pre-planned. So we're meant to be making an album at the minute, which is obviously a little bit tricky because we can't all be together. But yeah, just at the minute, keeping our heads down, and obviously we're part of that Radio 1 single, that Times Like These, like a charity single, which went to #1 a couple of weeks ago, which is great. So raising money for good causes. But yeah, apart from that, just trying to figure out, I guess, what the world's going to look like for us afterwards. Because I mean, I think much like with football, like live music's going to be like one of the last things to kind of come back online, I think.
Same after the speaking, pal. I don't know when it's going to fucking start up again.
If I could give you one afternoon jamming with Keith Moon, John Bonham, or let's go modern, Travis Barker.
Yeah.
Who we having?
Travis.
Yeah.
I've not even heard any of them three.
I haven't.
Blink-182.
Yeah. So yeah, Travis from Blink-182, John Bonham's from Led Zeppelin, Keith Moon's from The Who. Thing is, I couldn't keep up with like Moon and Bonham, man. They just absolutely smash it all day long. Like Bonham's there, like banging pints of vodka. Sorry, I can't do it.
Have you tried? Have you tried the old lifestyle?
On the first album, we kind of like probably. Well, I think like everyone would like you would drink.
Just go mad.
Yeah, but afterwards though, because like after like 2 or 3 pints, like my hands just turn to feet. Like I can't play drums. So yeah, I'm trying to be professional.
How did you get into it originally?
Well, playing drums.
Yeah.
So my dad is still a guitarist and a singer around Plymouth, and yeah, I just kind of grew up watching him and his bands like playing locally. And foolishly, I thought if you start playing drums, you haven't got to learn to read music. Turns out that was very, very wrong. But yeah, started doing that, and then one night, I'd have been 14. Went with my dad to one of his gigs, and this is like in the days of like not everyone had mobiles then, and his drummer hadn't turned up. And it's like getting to like 10 to 9, like he's not here yet. 9 o'clock, he's still not here yet. So then rang his house phone, and like his missus is like, "Oh no, he's gone Tesco's." So I had to go and jump in my dad's mate's car with him, go and get my like dodgy starter drum kit, set it up, and just basically learn on the job. The unrehearsed.
Why not?
Have you ever met anybody? Have you ever met anybody at, I don't know, bloody after parties or whatever, and you've been like, I'm starstruck?
Yeah. We're generally we keep our cool.
Obviously not tonight, mate. And we'll accept it tonight. We'll accept it tonight.
Camera cuts off here, mate. My knees are going like that at the minute.
We can hear that snare going.
Probably Steve Coogan, just because like we're all obsessed with Alan Partridge.
Aha!
Yeah, so we were like he was super nice and tolerant of us just being complete idiots.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen from a fan?
So say again.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen from a fan, or what is a random thing you've had done?
I'll tell you off air. I can't broadcast that.
I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to it anyway. I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you, yeah.
You were on the last few FIFAs as well. Well, more than the last few. 13, 14, 17 and 20.
That's when you know you've made it.
That's it.
So I'd spent like years like on Facebook, like just like when you're in a band on the way up, like not even signed, you kind of have these like pools of friends that you try and rotate on Facebook. It's like you don't want to kind of hammer them for every gig, so you're just trying to like, right, pool A, you're going to get this gig, pool B, that ever. And like you get like a few responses like, yeah, I guess he's in a band. The second that first FIFA came out, my phone blew up. They're like, mate, I didn't realise your band was actually serious.
Didn't realise you're on FIFA.
Yeah, that's what it takes apparently.
I don't know if you have got the old fuck off, mate. Not now, mate. Not now.
Like, who?
Now.
What's your tipple, by the way, Woody?
My tipple? Oh, so the minute, what was this one? In fact, so my best man is his younger brother. He works at a place called London Beer Factory. And this one, as in, I actually grabbed it. This was not a plant. It's a fundraising beer called Lifesavers. It's really good, and all the proceeds, not profits, proceeds go to NHS charities.
Oh,
So-
incredible.
Excellent.
Would recommend, and it's decent as well.
Oh, it always helps if it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's just choking it down in the background. Yeah, tastes like cherry.
Yeah, it's bloody lovely. It's lovely.
So we've got
How about you, boy?
the Plymouth quiz for you, mate. You fancy your chances?
It depends on what era, but yeah,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's generally pretty easy, I think. But you've got the pressure of the 60-second clock.
fair enough.
In terms of top of the list of guests, Nicky Weaver at 11,
Excuse me.
What did we? Oh, yeah, we're 11.
Paul Dickoff, and then Andy Wayman from Coronation Street just behind on 10. So the bar is high. The bar
Big
is
boys
high.
are in, mate. It's fine. Don't worry.
I think we should get. I think Woody should get 1 point for having the shirt on.
Yeah, come on. Retro one.
There we go. 1 point already off the bar.
Surely.
Right, are we ready? 60
Yeah.
seconds on the clock. Here
So
we
also,
go.
I should have said, I've got an absolutely banging frock as well upstairs. Like, if I'd known it was ladies' night, I'd have dressed it. Anyway, so,
I've reset the time. You almost lost 15 seconds then. Here we go. And we're off. Who was the manager before Derek Adams?
Oh, Christ.
You can pass.
Pass. What? Go on,
John
yeah, pass.
Sheridan. Who's this season's top scorer?
Shbee McFadden?
Anthony Svavarek. What is the main feature of the club's crest?
The Mayflower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the club's nickname?
Pilgrims.
True or false, they've once played in the FA Cup semi-finals.
True. 84 against Watford. Lost 1-0.
Correct. Who is the all-time record appearance maker?
Sammy Black.
Kevin Hodges. Wilf Carter is the club's all-time leading scorer. True or false?
True.
False. Who is the club's mascot?
Pilgrim Pete.
Correct. What is the stadium's capacity to the nearest 1,000?
New grandstand's gone in. I want to say 16 and a half.
Oh, 18.
Oh,
18.
so
How have we
close.
done?
Well, it's time gone.
That's
That was
it.
shocker,
Time's gone.
I'll tell you how we've done, mate. We'll be rated back at CD collection. That's how we've done.
Oh,
in old HMV,
Yeah.
in old
10% off.
HMV, we rate it back.
$2.99 clearance bin. Fine.
We pack his
Uh,
book. What?
Like my order. There's no need to be so abusive.
I'm sorry. How many have we got?
4, was it?
Four.
Four?
I think,
That it?
You're not bottom.
no.
That's all that
To be
matters.
fair, mate, you're just above Michael Vaughan.
All right, fair enough.
Woody,
And
you're
between-
terrible, but you're not bottom.
You're between
Fair enough,
Michael
I'll take it.
Vaughan and David Bumble Lloyd. So
I'll take that.
2 cricketing legends there.
Yeah, I'm a pretty bang average batsman as well. So yeah, that seems pretty fitting.
Out of them 3 managers, Woody, which one would you have back? Holloway,
Okay.
Warnock, Pulis?
Well, right now with the team we've got, probably Holloway. But you know what? So I was actually met Neil Warnock on New Year's Day game, and like you can hear like all these stories about him, but he's an absolute sweetheart, man. He was like had like all the time for everyone.
Did you get the
Didn't say no
Sudocrem
to
out for you?
Say again?
Did you get the Sudocrem out for you?
Not yet. No.
Didn't ask you to apply.
I'll work up to it, mate. I'll work up to it, you know. No, he was a boy. And also, in fact, actually, funnily enough, so the shirt I'm wearing now, that's the replica from the 96 playoff final where he was managing, took us up. So,
There we go.
there you go.
Warnock,
appropriate.
Woody, thanks very much for your time, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cheers for your
well,
time. Really appreciate it. We're not going to get to hear
Yes.
that story now, are we? Unfortunately.
we'll hear that. We'll hear that story at some point.
I'll take it.
Now, all the best with everything, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the best
you
to the
take
family
care.
as well.
Cheers, boys. Lots of love. Stay
Good luck
safe.
with the rest of the homeschooling, mate.
Yeah. All right, boys. Lots of love.
Thanks a
See you
lot.
later, mate.
Cheers,
Take care, buddy. Ta-ra, mate.
Right, lads, I need